back to my channel. I'm so excited to be making today's video because I finally have with me Ariana Grande's newest fragrance, R.E.M. Cherry Eclipse. Before we get started, if you have not yet subscribed, please be sure to do so. And if you are returning, thank you so much as always for being here. But yeah, let's just get straight into it. When it was first announced that this perfume was going to be called Cherry Eclipse, part of me was excited because I really do like cherry as a flavor. It's one of my favorite fruit candy flavors. But the other part of me was very worried because I was scared that it was going to be another Tom Ford Lost Cherry dupe. Because literally every single cherry fragrance that comes out nowadays seems to just be duping Lost Cherry, and there is just no originality in that realm. But I'm here to tell you that this is not another Lost Cherry dupe, it's like a sigh of relief for me because I'm literally so sick of that DNA, and I'm glad we have something different to play with. This fragrance has also technically been out for like months now because it was originally released in this set with a lip gloss and the original R.E.M. It was called R.E.M 2.0 back in the day. By back in the day, I mean like a couple months ago. But it wasn't called Cherry Eclipse yet, and I actually didn't get my hands on it at that time. But Ari finally released it in its full individual perfume. Let's just get straight into the notes. In the top, we have Black Cherry Jubilee and Sugared Honeysuckle Petals. In the middle, we have Natural Jasmine, Absolute Sambac, and Marshmallow Meringue. And in the dry down, we have Glowing Amber and Warm Musks. Notes sound very delicious. Let's just go ahead and give this a spray. What I will say right off the bat is that this is a perfume where you will need to like cherry as a note in order to actually enjoy this fragrance. So just picture maraschino cherries, cherry candy, and maybe like cherry cough syrup. It's like that genre of cherry, and if that's something that really doesn't appeal to you, then I don't think that this is gonna be a perfume for you. But on the flip side, if you are like a juicy cherry candy lover, this is definitely gonna be right up your alley. This to me just opens up with this really bright and almost kind of tart red cherry. I know that the notes say Black Cherry Jubilee, but it doesn't really smell dark or have that like the sultry richness of black cherry. It's definitely brighter. I would say it's like a maraschino cherry kind of sweetness. I also want to point out that this is a perfume where I like the perfume on the test strip a lot better than on my skin. I don't like dislike how it smells on my skin by any means, but like there's really something that like when it's like on the test strip, it just smells so good. Like you really get like that juicy tart cherry. And also I think that the marshmallow meringue is a little bit more pronounced when it's on the test strip. Like it has more of a gourmand touch, whereas when you wear it on your skin, or at least with my skin chemistry, it smells more flat and ambery and floral. And that's something that kind of took me by surprise with this fragrance, is that it is a lot more floral than I was expecting. With all the promotional materials, there was just like delicious cherries and marshmallows and meringues, and I kind of went into this thinking that it was going to be very, very gourmand and marshmallowy, but it's actually quite a bit less gourmand than I expected. It definitely is a fragrance that has elements of gourmand sweetness, but this is nowhere near as gourmand as something like Mod Vanilla or Yum Bougie Marshmallow. Like if you're expecting like a really fluffy, whipped, sweet marshmallow, you're not gonna get that from here. And that's another thing, is that this is definitely a very syrupy perfume. It's not powdery, so I'm just having kind of a hard time picking up the marshmallow and meringue. As it begins to dry down, it definitely has like a soapiness to it, and it's very clean smelling. So one thing that I will say about all Ariana Grande fragrances, and I don't know how she does it or like the perfumers do it, but there is not a single Ariana Grande fragrance that like works poorly with my skin chemistry. Like there are certain perfumes, especially I noticed with celebrity fragrances, is that they just smell really cloying and dense and kind of bad. Like they just smell bad on my skin. With Ariana Grande fragrances, they always smell really bright, perfumey, and have this like ethereal quality to them, and this is no exception. Like it performs really well on my skin, smells super clean. There's nothing about it that smells punchy and dense and cloying, and So to paint a picture of how this fragrance smells, I really want to compare it to fragrances that many of you have already smelled before, just because I know not everyone has access to an Ulta and is going to be able to smell it in person. So I really want to try to paint a good picture there. Many people think that this smells like R.E.M and Sweet Like Candy, also by Ariana Grande. And at first I was like, this does not smell like R.E.M at all. Like, I don't even know where they're getting that comparison. And I do partially stand by that. In the opening, I think that it is a completely different fragrance just because it's much more tart. It has a lot of like this cherry candy going on that R.E.M totally does not have. So I was like, how are people even comparing this? What I will say is that the dry down definitely is reminiscent of R.E.M. Because it dries down floral and ambery and musky, it does remind me a lot of R.E.M. And I was kind of hoping that the fragrance would be more gourmand as it dries down. I think with a lot of fragrances, when they do start to sit on your skin, they have like vanilla in the base and they become a lot more sweet and fluffy. But this one actually takes a different route and becomes more perfumey and floral. The three fragrances that Cherry Eclipse reminds me of the most at the moment are Flower Bomb's Ruby Orchid, Guess Seductive Red, and Sweet Like Candy. For Guess Seductive Red, I feel like this is literally the epitome of like a cherry cough syrup, like cherry hard candy kind of fragrance. And so that in itself makes it really, really similar to Cherry Eclipse. This is even more of like a maraschino cherry kind of scent, whereas Cherry Eclipse is a little bit tart. It actually has like a sour cherry vibe going on that is totally absent from Guess Seductive Red. So that's kind of like how those two are different. As for Flower Bomb Ruby Orchid smells just like how the bottle looks. Like it's like a very ruby red, pomegranate-y. It's like dark, syrupy, and just a really rich, like fruity fragrance. And so the way that it is like very fruity, but also has a sweet perfuminess to it, I think definitely reminds me of Cherry Eclipse. And so when you like combine these three together, you get this one. So that's how I would describe the scent of it in relation to other fragrances that you may have smelled. As for the original R.E.M, I don't find these to be similar, like honestly at all. I think that this could have been an entirely new standalone fragrance because it does take on an entirely new DNA. The original has notes of sea salt, caramel, lavender. It just is completely different. It's very powdery, whereas Cherry Eclipse is syrupy. But with that, I want to get into the rating portion of Cherry Eclipse by Ariana Grande. At the time that I'm filming this, if you order online from Ulta, if you get the big size, you should be able to get a free gift, which is this cute little pouch. It's like a lot smaller than I expected. Like it's petite. I'm not really sure even what you would hold with it. I would say maybe like some lip glosses, some perfume minis. But yeah, it actually feels like really nice. The inside is like slightly padded. Feels like durable. If that is something you're interested in, I would definitely look out for that. But that's not all. It also comes with this dual-ended rollerball, and this has both the original R.E.M perfume as well as the new R.E.M Cherry Eclipse. And I actually have not unboxed this yet, so we're just gonna do it right here. It looks like this. Very interesting. I've actually never seen a dual rollerball like this before, so that's really nice. This is definitely gonna be great to Oh my god, that's so cool. We're gonna test this. Oh, it smells very alcohol-y. I kind of love this. This is so unique and versatile. I feel like more fragrance companies should make these. I think that'd be really fun. If you want the free gift, I believe the deal expires like February 1st, and also like while supplies last. So I don't even know if they still have it in stock, but just wanted to let you guys know. I also made a YouTube community post about it. The box of this perfume is so stunning. I feel like their boxes just get better and better like every time. It feels really nice, and I love just like, I guess like the finish and like how minimalistic it is. But of course my favorite side is definitely this one, and I feel like this is gonna be an incredible piece of like decor for any Ariana Grande lover. It's very different from the original R.E.M, which had like this futuristic pop art kind of theme, which I thought was super unique. I think it would have been really cool if they continued with that theme, but I still really like this pastel pink minimalist aesthetic. I think it's very pretty. One of my favorite boxes to date. And then let's talk about the bottle I think it's very gorgeous. It is the same bottle as the original R.E.M, but the bottle is opaque. And so when I was looking at pictures online, I thought that it would be like partially translucent and have like this like iridescent finish, like similar to Vanilla Candy Rock Sugar, but no, it is completely opaque. It's like Cloud Intense where you cannot see how much is left, which is not my favorite. I'm just not a huge fan of the opaque bottle, but overall, R.E.M has always been one of my all-time favorite perfumes when it comes to the bottle, just because like the crystal aesthetic is so beautiful and appealing to me, and so that made me so excited to add this to my collection because it is also just so stunning. As for the scent, it is a very pretty perfume. I would say in some ways it smells exactly the way that you would expect it to smell, but it did also kind of differ from my expectations, just in the sense that I thought it would be a lot more gourmand. I was hoping the marshmallow and meringue would give it more of a fluffy, powdery sweetness that would give it almost like a creamy vanilla cherry vibe, but it doesn't really have any sort of vanilla elements to it. I'm, again, just kind of struggling to smell the meringue, especially as the fragrance begins to dry down. And so I would say that's my biggest letdown with this fragrance, is that it is very floral, like more floral than you would think. It smells really, really nice, and I think that you could definitely layer this with other fragrances to kind of give it more of a gourmand touch. So there's always that. I would say I like the scent, but it's not yet a love. But it might grow on me. We'll see. If I were to like rank all the Ariana Grande fragrances right now, I would probably put this one below Pink Woods. I would put it below Maud Vanilla. And then I'm still kind of on the fence with the original R.E.M as well as Cloud. So yeah, it's definitely up there. I think it smells so beautiful. It's really, really pretty. I think it's elevated. It reminds me a lot of Japanese Cherry Blossom by Bath and Body Works. It kind of hurts me to say that because I don't like things that smell like Bath and Body Works, but that one is like a very well done scent. It does kind of smell like cherry blossoms, like it really has that floral aspect to it, but I think the amber and definitely the jasmine is giving it this more elevated floral perfuminess. And lastly, for performance, I have owned this perfume for like a couple hours, so I can't give you a super in-depth breakdown of how the perfume performs. What I will say is that this is definitely a lower projecting fragrance. Projection is definitely like low to moderate, and longevity, I sprayed this on my skin probably a couple hours ago now, and it is starting to fade pretty quickly. So right now my impression is that longevity also is not the best, but I will continue to wear it and try to provide updates on if the performance changes. But I would say for now, performance is on the weaker side. I think that's gonna wrap up my review for the new Ariana Grande R.E.M Cherry Eclipse perfume. Overall, I think it's a great perfume. I think it's beautiful, but I personally would not say that it is a reflection of the marketing pictures that they were using, simply because I'm not getting a ton of marshmallow meringue. Rather, this is more of a floral cherry candy kind of scent. It is very beautiful nonetheless. If you have smelled this fragrance, definitely let me know your thoughts on it. And yeah, I think that's gonna wrap up today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a like. If you didn't like this video, make sure to give it a like, and I will see you all very, very soon. Take care. I love you. Until next time.